Switzerland is targeting 6 people for suspected bribery of foreign officials and other offences as part of a probe linked to 1MDB and SRC. Former Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Razak is not among them. Swiss AG Michael Lauber says the 6 are 2 former 1MDB officials, 2 ex-officials in charge of Abu Dhabi sovereign funds, and 2 Petro-Saudi officials. 2 Swiss banks, Falcon Private Bank and BSI SA, are also on the radar. Lauber met with his Malaysian counterpart Tommy Thomas in Putrajaya today. He says about 7 billion USD of funds originating from 1MDB and SRC had flowed through the global financial system from 2009 to 2015. This was discovered during investigations in Switzerland. Previously, a report by the Public Accounts Committee said that at least 7 billion USD of 1MDB's funds was unaccounted for. Former Goldman Sachs banker Tim Leissner is reportedly in talks with US prosecutors to potentially plead guilty to criminal charges stemming from the 1MDB fiasco. According to the Wall Street Journal, the German national, who was close to Lotec-Jo, hasn't been charged. He is seeking to strike a deal regarding his cooperation with the government's criminal fraud probe into 1MDB and Goldman Sachs. Wall Street Journal says one potential charge Leissner could potentially plead guilty to would be a violation of the US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Under the Act, it is illegal for companies and their supervisors to bribe foreign officials to obtain or retain business. The MOF wants Prasarana Malaysia to make a huge cut to the cost of constructing the 31.45 billion ringgit LRT3 line. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng blames the price tag on poor management by Prasarana. He says the cost must come down by much more than 6 billion ringgit, a figure suggested by certain news reports if the project is to proceed. This must be done without compromising the project's integrity, safety and quality of service. According to Lim, Prasarana had previously secured a government guarantee for a 10 billion ringgit bond facility to fund the project in 2015. However, the company asked for an additional 22 billion ringgit in government guarantee earlier this year, a request that the MOF is denying unless the cost is significantly rationalized. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says the government may be crippled if all those suspected of bribery in the civil service were terminated. This is because the practice of corruption is so widespread in the previous administration. Mahathir blames the situation on Dato Sri Najib Razak and claims that the government machinery was as clean as it can get when he was PM first time around. On Malaysia's delay in issuing an official notification to Singapore over the status of the HSR project, Mahathir says they know what we want to do. However, Putrajaya was unable to formalize its decision yet, as the government needs to be careful about what we say so as to not upset the markets. Proton Holdings will be holding talks with Indonesia's PT Adi Perkasa Citra Lestari to produce an ASEAN car. Chairman Dato Sri Said Faisal Albar says Proton is studying the joint collaboration and adds that no cost is involved. The idea was first mooted in 2015 between then Proton chairman Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and visiting Indonesian President Joko Widodo. Proton and PT Adi Perkasa Citra Lestari had inked an MOU that year to conduct a feasibility study to co-develop an Indonesian national car. The idea was to eventually expand the JV to manufacture a vehicle for the ASEAN market. However, the plan did not take off due to unforeseen circumstances.